Alright, so what I got going on, use the engine boom, attached the chain to my radiator support. May not be the best way, somebody probably has a better way of doing it than how I did it, but you can do it that way. Lift it up, and then you can get the car up a little bit more. So now I should be able to slide, hopefully roll the engine up under here and get the engine placed in the middle where it belongs. Then hopefully I can lower the car back down. When I lower the car back down, I can take these 4 bolts here, okay, and hopefully be able to bolt the engine back in on these 4 places on each frame rail. And then I can get the transmission to bolt back in back there. That's what I'm hoping. So, but time will tell. Hopefully you'll see that shortly. So I'm going to take a bunch of small videos and post them together. Well guys, I got the engine out of the trailer. As you can see, it's up here. Now as a side note, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little safety thing. If you guys are a lot like me, I do a lot of this stuff by myself. I don't have help. I don't always have somebody that can help me put stuff in. Okay. So before I brought this engine down out of the ramp, I know this engine outweighs me by a lot. Okay, I'm a little scrawny white guy. I mean, I don't weigh much. So what I did to make sure I was safe, just in case the engine pushed me down like it did, it pushed me down the ramp, I was sitting down the ramp, I took one of my ratchet ties, I wrapped it around a rope, had it connected up to that, I have it tied to the stand that I got the engine sitting on. Literally, I slid from up top all the ways down the ramp, all the ways down here, and I mean, you can even see where I slid there with my boots. The whole thing just slid me down the ramp. That's the best way to say it. So this is my little safety brief I'm going to do with this stuff, is make sure you always are safe. Like I said, I had a feeling it was going to push me down there, so I had a strap to hold it, so that way, if it did push me down, the engine didn't come flying down the ramp and go right into my car. Because that would definitely suck. It probably would have broke something or bent something or screwed something up. So a little safety brief for if you guys do the stuff yourself. Just to make sure that you're safe, you don't hurt yourself. You know, use jack stands, use all the safety precaution stuff. Now what I'm going to do with the engine, I'm going to go through, I'm going to get my headers out. I got new headers in a box. They're ceramic coated headers. So what I'm going to do is when I put them on, I'm going to wear gloves on my hands so I don't leave oily handprints on it, because you can screw up your ceramic coating by doing that. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, I'm going to unbolt this shifter because it's in the way. Take the shifter, the linkage off, take all that off. I'm also going to run my power steering lines before I put my headers on. Run it from there to there, and my other line from there to there. So I'm going to run my lines. I'm also going to put my starter on too, because it's going to be easier to do right now. I'm going to pull my wires back to set them up on the engine for now. So try to get done what I can get done before I put the engine up in there, to make my life just a little bit easier to do a couple things. So, alright. Alright. What I did is I went through, I hooked up my main power steering lines to this just to try to make it easier for me. I still might have to take them off later when I do everything else, but at least they're hooked up for now. I went through, I put my headers on. These are Summit brand headers, just the OEM ones. I didn't have the money to spend for the higher up ones. Everybody told me to go with them, but I don't, you know, just got to do what you got to do. I got a lightweight starter I got on it. So that's the one I was using when I started running on the run stand. Went through, I put my cross member on there. So that's all ready. And I got both my headers on. So I just left the bags on them for now because I'm trying not to touch the ceramic. Supposedly if you touch it before you bake them, sometimes it screws up the finish. At least that's what I've been told. I got my oil pressure gauges out for now. On the back, I'll put them in later. I'm actually going to go through and get an extension for the one side because I'm actually not running the OEM gauge. I'm going to be running a oil pressure like this guy here. Okay, it's a 3-pole pressure sensor. One's normally open, one's normally closed. So what happens is when I don't have oil pressure, one sensor, one part of it's closed, and I can use that to illuminate a light. Then when I get oil pressure, it will close another one. So this one here, since it's NC, it's normally closed. So when there's no oil pressure, that one there will put power through, let's see here. This terminal here will put power through to this terminal. When I get oil pressure, normally open, then this one will close, and I can run a hour meter. I'm going to put a Hobbs meter, that's what it's called, or an hour meter. So that way I can keep track of how many hours are on my engine. Since this is a completely new engine, it's only got an hour on it from the run stand, less than an hour, just from running on the run stand, breaking the cam in. So with that switch, I can keep track of how many hours are on it, on the engine itself. So I'm ready to slide it back under there. I think I got the car lifted up enough. I might have to come in under the wheel well and slide it in to clear the bottom of the radiator. So I'll figure that out. Alright, while doing this, guys, I didn't think about a couple of things. I had to raise my car up a little bit more while doing it. So I had this up there and the engine half under and had to raise it. One thing I could say so far that I've learned is if you're going to do it, I mean, I used wood as a cradle because I didn't feel like making one out of metal or buying one. Wood works, but reinforce it pretty good. Try to keep it from bowing or doing anything stupid. And the other thing is always make sure your exhaust out of the way. I had one of my pipes that was difficult, and I had to actually undo one of the hangers. The other one broke when I took it all apart. So I had to undo the other hanger to move the pipe out of the way to get everything to clear. So that's one thing to think about while getting ready to put your engine back in your car if you guys decide to do it yourself. So I'm at that point now that I'm ready to put the engine hoist back on the front, lift it up, and then lower it back down. If I had a 4-post lift or even a 2-post lift, it would be probably a lot easier. Well, actually, a 4-post wouldn't work because you drive line in it, but if I had a 2-post lift, it would be really easy. Just raise it up, lower it down, and I'd be done. But I don't have that luxury. I'm just a home guy like everybody else. So I do it in my own garage. I know it's a mess. Sorry about the mess. Well, got the engine in there finally. It's shoehorned in there. It's the best way to put it. Everything's very tight against the side aprons and everything. It's not the best fitting as I'd like it to be, but everything's tight and it fits. I mean, so now the only thing I gotta go through is I gotta put the pedals back in there and cut the tunnel now. I got the transmission up in there, so it's all in there. So it's a little bit tight, but it's there. So I just slid the engine boom in because I'm done for today. Alright guys, these are my upper control arms. They've been cleaned, painted. I still gotta put the new bushings in it, put new ball joints in it. I have the inner and outer tie rod ends. I got new ones. Reuse the sleeves, clean them up and painted them. So when I get done with that stuff, I can put them on. I got, for my sway bar, new bushings for the upper control arm stops. I got pretty much bushings for everything. When I get done with doing that, I'm going to go through and hopefully make a video of cleaning up a rear that I picked up. So I'm going to go through, clean the axle up, put new bearings in it, do all that stuff, put it in there. If you guys like my videos, please like, follow the videos, subscribe to my channel. It would be awesome to get a bunch of people that subscribe to it. It'd be awesome to get a bunch of likes too. If you guys have any comments, questions, please feel free to ask. I'll try to answer any and all questions if I can.